Hey,
Hey yo, hey yo.
happy Monday, everybody. Welcome back to the program. Hopefully, you had a good and enjoyable weekend. A lot of sports, especially in the NFL side of things, but just a really good time for sports in general. Now that hockey is back, that gives us a little bit more midweek action. The
Mm-hmm.
NBA still, I wouldn't say like at the point of fits and starts yet, but they are sort of realizing the gravity of the scheduling problems that will come with trying to play in this environment. So, um, still moving forward. NHL just kind of ramping up at this point, but nice to have those sort of for not really every day, but like all during the week sports going on,
Oh yeah.
especially as football comes to a close. But a good weekend. UFC came back. Um, soccer. Now we're in the second half, at least for the European leagues, Premier League, especially for the West Ham fans out there. Pretty much just me and Tyler. And then,
Yeah, I think it's a yeah.
on this program, everyone's a West Ham fan.
That's
But
right. Whether you like it or not.
you just have to accept it. Just take it. Just take it. But Tyler, how are you doing this Monday? How was your weekend?
Oh, it's good, man. I mean, got to watch obviously all the football games. I was mentioned it Friday. I was kind of sad that we didn't get the three football games each day. That I think that Super Wild Card weekend kind of spoiled us in that case.
But
It
I
was.
think that's going to continue. I
Oh
just
yeah.
don't
Oh yeah.
see the NFL just giving up on that. Yes, they're going to have to, kind of negotiate that with the players, but I feel like they will give up another preseason game in lieu of the money, the game check for either another regular season game or that three wild card game weekend.
Yeah. But I mean, again, it's still fun weekend of football. I got to watch a good fight card. Uh, Saturday afternoon. That was weird. Saturday afternoon on ABC.
On
Like
ABC,
that was
yes.
that was maybe the weirdest like MMA card I've seen, but it was a fucking great card. Got to watch. West Ham got a win. That was nice. All in all, that was it was a good, enjoyable weekend. Ronnie, how was your weekend?
Good weekend. I pretty much saw all the NFL games. Unfortunately, at the death, my parlay fell apart.
Oh
But
God.
we will we will get into all that. But no, a good weekend of football. Even though my parlay did not hit, I think I was pretty much on it. So sort of just had a vibe of which way it was going, and competitive games. Well, Bills
Based.
just like punked out the Ravens, but
Yeah.
other than that, we had some good games. Rams, yes, we all knew they were there to lose in the cold in Green Bay, but they showed a little bit more, heart than I thought they were going to show. Even with Goff maybe not being able to hold a football, who knows? He looked okay. He didn't suck. Um, so I was pleased with the NFL outcome. NHL just continues on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Overall,
Ducks.
not too
Ducks are
bad.
not good, but we expected that.
Ducks are not good. If you saw my post on Facebook, yes, I was there.
Oh,
Um,
7 years ago. That was 7 years. 2014.
when they were at the top of the top. 9-1. All right, 9-1 is not a real hockey score, but it was just like actually a team capable of like one of those nights where it's just like,
Mhm.
dude, they're just going in. They're just all jumping it. Like they're just jumping in the boat. So unfortunately, we are far away from that. It is a rebuild, but alas.
Was
Uh,
that Hiller or Anderson that would have been in the goal for the Ducks that night? I don't even.
Hiller was hurt at that time, but he was
Mm,
also, I know going into that game, he had like the second or third longest shutout game streak going in like NHL history. He was just out for that game.
right.
So he didn't play in that game. They still won 9-1. But
Yeah.
that's like how far we have come.
Yeah.
Everything was going right for that team. It was all set up. We know what happened in the playoffs. I don't want to revisit it, but it was like one of those super powered, like everything is clicking kind of teams. And now it's the rebuild team. But
Yeah.
anyway, what happens. I'll take it. Let's check in on the comments real quick. Nick checking in, sucking
Always.
mosquitoes as
Always.
always. Thomas, Royal Rumble 2 weeks away. Yes,
That's
sir.
right. Yeah, that's right. I'm already in my Rumble pool. Obviously, we'll be watching that. Everybody will be watching that safely distanced, of course, and yeah, it'll still be good though.
To be
Win some money off
responsible.
that, maybe. Yeah.
Yes. And Nick coming back. Harden messed around and got a triple-double. Yes, he did. A newly slender James Harden
That's right.
that we will address here shortly. And no, Harden, I'm not talking about cheeseburgers. And C's coming in.
Hey,
I don't like West Ham. I mean, we all like smoked ham.
Get down on some smoked ham. Yeah, let's not kid ourselves here.
And the Baron piggybacking. Yes, come on, you irons.
Yes.
But let's go right into it. I know we talked about this on Friday, and honestly, without a doubt, I mean, the world's favorite team handball player.
Yes.
Got the Mavumbi, and I'm trying to say that correctly.
I believe you did say you were very close to it if you weren't right.
He had a shot at the defending world champion today, and he did just bang in 4 goals. I mean, they lost. As a team, they're always going to be the underdog in this situation. But you know what? Let's see my man go to work right here.
See it.
So Mvumbi. Yaho's on the line. And that works. And Mvumbi in 6. They continue. This is paying dividends exactly as it did in the opening game. The defender off to one side. And they drop back to 6-0. Mvumbi maintains his 100% record. Heads off to be substituted between attack and defence. Crashes into Mensa Larsen on the way off. But too much space, and he's the wrong side. The defenders, nothing he can do. All fed in very quickly, and Gitzel missed.
The grace of a Falcon.
Oh my goodness.
You know what?
Beautiful.
Everyone likes to see someone that is like that, Shaq, or just unstoppable. No one in this sport can defend them. Mm-hmm. But I love about this guy, he doesn't hesitate. He'll take it to the air. He will just lay out, and he'll just bang out a goal right there. And actually, Shaq gave him some love. His international profile outside of the sport, just sort of as an athlete, has grown. Shaq hit him up on, I believe, Instagram. And this just very short, but just hit him up.
I see you the Shaq of Team Handball. What's happening?
So you got to see, really enjoy this guy sort of getting the recognition. I know he plays in the 4th division of professional team handball in France, I believe.
Right.
This guy, he's a problem. I mean, like I said, maybe not one. And I always like to see him running back too, like on defense too. It seems like
he hustles.
The more he scores, the more he gets engaged in the game, where you see him just like booking it back down.
Oh yeah.
All right.
It's a freight train going back.
But 4th division, I mean, I feel like someone's going to sign this guy, move him up to like the 2nd, or maybe in a lesser country in handball, which I don't know what that is, but maybe in the top flight. Look, if you are a high-level handball team and you have this guy on your bench as a weapon, I'd be like, dude, all right, we're down 2 scores. There's 5 minutes left. Just get out there, do your thing. We will get you the ball. You will score. But I mean, this guy is just really embraced the spotlight, not making too much of it, just enjoying the ride as far as the exposure he's getting here. All power to him, dude. I love this guy.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's been a joy to watch. He's kind of taken, taken Twitter by storm, Instagram. People are kind of they're seeing the clips of this guy, and how can you not love it? Like you said, he is just a force. As soon as he gets the ball, it's oh shit! He as soon as he touches, he's 8 of 9 on his shots this year. He's taken 9 shots, scored 8 goals.
And that's the thing. I mean, I don't know what all goes into. Obviously, it's if you're getting paid money to play this game, you got to be able to play both ways, whatever.
Sure.
Up and down the court. Who knows? This guy, the team that he's on, the Congo team, is just They barely got in. They're just in the tournament. But if you just need a weapon to like score you some goals, as soon as you always see like the look of dread, like we saw it in the Argentina guy's eyes. Like he's like got two hands on the jersey. He's like, oh, he turned me.
Nothing I can do.
And
Nothing
then
I
you
can
see
do.
the other guy on the backside, like he's already faced up to goal. It's just 1-on-1 at that point. So gotta love this guy. I mean, he has taken it in stride.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I mean, even like some of the interviews I've seen and read, like, you know, with this guy before going in, they were just like, hey, we're just hoping to make like a little bit of noise. Like there was a running joke, like we want to take the headband off the best player in the world kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's going to be our, like, that was our goal going in kind of thing.
Which Denmark actually sat the best player in the world. I think they were afraid of that.
Cowards.
Cowardly.
Because you know what's going to happen.
Exactly. Yeah, Vumbi's just going to smash on them. But look, I'm rooting for them. You know, tomorrow morning they've got their last game in the first group stage at the Handball Championships. They'll be playing Bahrain. It's pretty much, you know, they got to win to advance to the next stage. So I think we're more specifically the Congolese handball show of record.
Yeah,
we only follow one team.
I can't cover the entire breadth of handball. We'd like to branch out, but yeah. Congolese handball,
we got it. That's
right
us.
Here. Show of record. Please believe that.
But yeah, so they will be playing tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific time. I don't know. I've never had to look up to find a handball stream because usually I only watch it, you know, on the Olympics or if it's like on TV. There are ways. I'm going to find a way to watch this game in the morning.
There are certainly ways. You know what? Even though I will put up the disclaimer,
please believe it. Please
believe that. But even though there are ways, maybe even I don't want to know the ways. But
I'm going down that rabbit hole. I'm going to find it in the morning.
There are ways. Check my guy out.
It will destroy my computer and give it all kinds of viruses, but it's all right. Sometimes I'm going to find it.
It's just worth it.
It's for the greater good.
The greater good. Let's real quick, you know, just hit what we were also talking about. Now we have the new Brooklyn Big Three. And, of course, well, I mean, shocking to some, not to myself. James Harden shows up.
Slim.
Very much leaned out. Drops a triple-double. They win the game.
Yeah.
I think it was like 32 points, 14 assists or rebounds. I mean, they were playing the Magic. It's not going to be like a very stiff competition, but and we still don't know. Like, I want to see the weirdness of when Kyrie does return from his spiritual journey, whatever he's on.
His sabbatical.
You know, he's just, like I said, wandering towards the edge of the flat earth. I don't know. But once he figures it out and enjoys basketball again, we'll see. But I hate to say, not very shocking to however he pulled that off. Maybe he was wearing like 8 T-shirts in that photo. I don't know, but all of a sudden gets to the team he wants to go to, and looks like he's in game shape. So, and Durant had like 45 points, 42, something like that. Easy points too. I mean, Harden was just dropping dimes, kind of picking his spots, whatever. And we don't know what that team is going to look like at full voice. So you have to say in the East, it's probably them or the Bucks, but I still want to see what's going to happen when Kyrie does show back up, because give it a week, 2, 3 weeks. When are they going to start fighting with each other? I don't know, but it's going to happen.
Oh yeah, definitely not a question of if, it's just when. I think they played the Bucks. I think I saw on Twitter. I didn't get to watch the game, but I saw they did play the Bucks. It looked like that he and Durant both had pretty big games again, as well as Giannis. You know, no surprise there. But yeah, it is just, you know, once Kyrie gets there, that's going to be that chaos, that thing that just kind of puts them over the edge. Like, you know, having 2 stars on one team, you can still find ways to share the ball, make everybody happy. But 3 guys, when all 3 guys think they're alpha males, that's damn near impossible.
But 9 misfortunes.
That's
Well,
right.
I'd like to see that. And real quickly, let's swerve over to the. Oh wait, no wait. I don't have it in here. Well,
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert!
To the Premier League. West Ham getting a very unsatisfying 1-0 win, but
Hey, I'll take it.
they're all satisfying when you win, and you
They
don't get relegated.
You know what? They actually didn't look bad. Like they kind of dominated Burnley. They just couldn't finish it because, quite frankly, they don't have a striker right now. Antonio, even though he got the goal and he's been playing striker, he's not a natural striker. I was still satisfied with their performance. I thought they looked well.
Yeah, and I mean it was good to see him just get a goal. I think I don't know, as far as like especially guys up top in soccer that are counted on to score goals. I know, like, I'm firmly in agreement, like, with you. Like, Antonio is not an out-and-out, like, number 9 striker guy. He's kind of more of a winger cutting in kind of guy. But the confidence that you get from scoring a goal, that carries over. And you could see, even I saw the Chelsea game this weekend, and what's his name? The German kid. He's
Havertz.
No, the other guy.
Timo Werner.
Yeah, Werner. He has gone on like a huge drought of goals, and he had like a huge, just like, you should score on this breakaway, and he just shanked it. And it's like, all right, you see the effect. Like, seeing that ball go in the net is a big thing, because you only have like that one moment to, like, you might not latch onto a ball for the entire game, and then you get one. It's like, all right, I'm counted on to score this goal. So, Antonio knocking that one in was nice. Yes, probably outpossessed them the rest of the game, but probably would have liked to see more. But hey, it is what it is. 9th place in the table. As I have it up here in front of you guys, and I actually made this a top 11 because shout out to Aston Villa, dude. Plus 13 on goal differential.
Yeah.
They're obviously trending the wrong direction right now. And you see, Man U start out the season just like as a dumpster fire, currently sitting first at 37 points, with a very miserable 0-0 draw against Liverpool over the weekend.
That game was awful.
Hey, goal differential says a lot to me in soccer, and that's the only reason why I included number 11, Aston Villa.
Oh yeah, look, Martinez. That's been he's been holding it down, in the goal for them all year. I've had him as my fantasy Premier League goalie all year, and have not regretted that for a single second. Also, I didn't know if I want to tell you this. I guess I will tell you this, but I did read, because I don't really follow the Dutch league that often, but Haller, who was traded from West Ham or sold over to Ajax, in 3 games has 1 goal and 3 assists. So
I bet he scored. I knew it. I told you.
So you know what, Haller, you can go screw yourself.
Look, some people are just not built to score goals in that league.
And everybody is built to score goals in the Dutch league.
They're not big on defense. It's
optional.
very up and down, shall we say.
It's laissez-faire.
Yeah, kind of like defense. That's kind of a concept, like an abstract thing. Like, yes, it's an idea, but it's really more about like getting up and down the field. And as soon as Tyler originally texted me, I was like, dude, look at Josie, our own Josie Altidore. True. Banging on the goals. Like, he couldn't miss. He scored like 40 goals in 2 seasons in the Dutch league. I think that was after Hull City, but before Southampton or Sunderland. And I think he's got like 5 goals ever in the Premier League. And he's got about 35 in the Dutch league. So, hey, like I said, some guys come out of it just seeing that goal go in. It means a lot. It's good for your confidence. But, yeah, West Ham, just keep doing what you're doing, dude.
Okay.
We're at ninth place.
Yeah.
Stay up.
Game tomorrow morning. It's West Brom. That's a must win there. West Brom is not very good, so
No,
got to
they
win that
are
one.
miserable, and you have to win that one.
Yeah.
But that brings us to the football. And like I said, a very tasty weekend. I'm gonna start with the negative because I had the parlay. I'm gonna put it up on the screen for you guys. I honestly thought my first one was the riskiest one, over 45 total points, because I just didn't know about the Rams. Goff is hurt. He can't even hold the football. He can't even throw the football. Who knows? And it was like 30 degrees. It was maybe like 35 at kickoff. So I was like, all right, it's a little warmer, but it's still very uncomfortably cold.
It's 35. That's a hot afternoon up there in Wisconsin.
And I had no delusions about them winning this game. I was just like, dude, 45, that's very low for an NFL game. You know what? I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to take the over on this. And they got it. They got it. I was good on that. The Bills game at 2.5 was basically like a pick 'em. I mean, the money line I think was like minus 140, and them to cover 2.5 was minus 110. So obviously I did minus 110. I don't think you're gonna probably win any NFL game by 1 or 2 points. That just seems very unlikely. So I was like, all right, well, I'll just take them to cover. Browns covered, and I saw that move to +8 the day of the game. And, we'll get into it. Yes, the fumble out of the end zone thing, it sucks. But as a Raider fan, as a Derek Carr watcher, I've seen it. I've seen it several times. So those are the rules of the game. You have to accept it. And I thought one of my safest ones was the Saints -3.
Ooh.
Drew Brees has not been looking great for a long time, but I just thought at home they had it, but they didn't have it. Unfortunate. Like I said, 2 times in a row, lost on my multi-leg parlay for NFL games.
So from now on, Ronnie, if you're going to lay a parlay, I want you to tell me what it all is, and I will bet exactly what you bet until the last game, and I'll do the opposite.
Just take out the last one. If you take out the last one, you're good.
Yeah. I'll do everything you do and then bet the opposite on the last leg. Guaranteed win.
But let's get into the actual games that were played. That's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for me to give my honest opinion on these. But no, I mean, really, even all the way through, I think it was a fair result. I mean, all right, we start with the Rams going to Green Bay. Honestly, Goff, I don't think was the problem in this game.
He was fine.
Packers are they're just better. I mean, in this game, I thought it was going to be more of a blowout than that. So even that cover, I was taking the cover, assuming the Rams lost, and just I think they can get up more than 13 points though, right? The Packers are going to score, together they're going to get over 45, and the weather was relatively favorable, but the Packers just had too much. Let's just be honest. They had Ramsey. I know defensive coordinators hate to say, especially when they get interviewed before the build up to a game, are you just going to have Ramsey on Adams the whole time? They don't. First of all, they don't want to give up what they're going to do, so that's the main thing. But everyone kind of knew it's just 1-to-1. Either side of the field, the Rams play a lot of zone, too high. You know what they're going to do. But in this case, you knew they were also just put Ramsey on Adams, see what happens. And I wouldn't say he totally took him out of the game. I mean, he still got his catches, but that first touchdown that he scored, it was just like I said. I mean, Adams, he always looks open, and it's people's that entire job is just to make sure he is not open. The fact that he is always open, credit to him, credit to Rodgers. Whatever they're doing, he always just looks like it's not a hard catch. It's not in traffic. It's not like just, he had to really get that one. It's not like a Hopkins, like, how did he come down with that ball? Like,
Right.
and you saw the one, like, down on the goal line. They motioned him out wide. They motioned him back to the other side. Basically, like, picked Ramsey against his own defense. The other guy didn't switch off, and it was just like into the end zone. And, it just went downhill from there. But got the over on that. Well, you know what? Based on what we saw in the last game, you have to say Tampa Bay and Green Bay is probably the best matchup left over there. But I thought it was going to be the Saints going in. Alas, it was not to be. But Drew Brees just really not looking like Drew Brees at this point. I mean, I think it's just kind of like the ride off into the sunset time for him.
Yeah, I mean, and real quick, just kind of go back to Green Bay. I agree with you. I thought Ramsey overall played really well. Again, like you said, that one touchdown was more of like a kind of a busted coverage kind of deal. He did good. I think, a big thing in, not that I think this turns the tide ultimately, but, Aaron Donald just wasn't right.
Yeah.
He couldn't get, he couldn't get through to Rodgers on the pass. And then even on the run defense, like he wasn't really the big factor he normally is. So, I think that really hurt him. Goff, I thought, played fine. A lot of short passes, nothing that he couldn't handle. I thought he did fine. But Green Bay's just kind of been the class of the NFC all year, so it makes sense they won. Then we go to that other game. Breeze just doesn't look good, man. He's done. There's just nothing there.
And it's not even, as far as Breeze goes, I'm not going to sit here and bash the guy. I mean, look at the run. Like, you can't, with a straight face, sit there and say, like, he left another play out there that he could have made. Like,
no, not at all. Not
he
at all.
literally, like, threw his arm off, and you could just see it, like,
and threw his ribs out.
It's just gone, like, at this point. Like,
it's just a fact. It's not there anymore. It's not a knock on the guy. Father Time's undefeated. But I wasn't even, Brady played okay. He had an okay game. I mean, really the thing that benefited the most was Leonard Fournette's crazy running, along with Ronald Jones running, and then the defense just making plays and setting themselves up in good position.
The defense played really well, and
I thought both defenses played well, actually.
I know Bowles is like a big, like, one of the most, like, blitzing defensive coordinators in the NFL. And, credit to him, though. They have a lot of good young players just untested in that situation in the playoffs, in that secondary. And he trusted him. He was like, dude, all right, we don't know what Breeze is going to look like. Nobody knows. Like, all right, we see the velocity coming off the ball, whatever. But I'm going to put you guys in man, and I'm going to blitz like 7 guys. And I'm just going to throw the pressure on, make that throw come out a little bit quicker. And then you guys just jump it if you can. And they did. And they were on the right side of the turnovers.
Yeah, and there were times to me where it looked – I don't want to say – the right word isn't that Breeze didn't look like he didn't want to be out there, but he just looked like he was more concerned about getting hit than anything else. And that's just something, you haven't seen from Breeze until recently. I mean, of course, 11 broken ribs will do that. Certainly make you worry about moving, let alone getting a 300-pound guy. Yeah. The game. It's weird. The game didn't feel to me as high scoring as it wound up being. Like it even like late in the game, I was like, this feels like it's like 14-10. But hey, credit to Tampa. They got the win. They got to move on now. I think I saw the line opened. Green Bay was -3, I think, which I got to say I like them. I think you could even drive that up a few more points, and I still like Green Bay.
Yeah, agreed.
I just think they're the class of the NFC. They have been pretty much all year. Tampa at times has looked really good, and at times has looked really bad. I don't think Green Bay's looked bad at any point in time. I definitely like them going forward for this next weekend.
Well, and I mean, kind of just to like put a button on that. Like I said, I mean, you have talent in that secondary for Tampa, but you never know like what kind of like just offensive output you're going to get. What kind of at times this year it felt like they sort of fell in love with like doing what Brady wanted to do, which is like throw the ball down the field. Now they're sort of just like realizing the offensive concept is like, dude, we have two really good running backs. Fournette, probably like in the last 2 years, probably like 200 plus carries, like at this point in the year, if they were there.
Right.
And then Jones, who is just a dog. Like, I love the way he runs. So you have all the weapons outside for Brady, but it's kind of like what will win us the game kind of thing. So play within, take a shot when you can, but we have two good running backs. We can, if we get a lead, we can control the clock. And then now you're seeing a little more trust in that defense. Like they love the blitz, which, I like that style that Bowles is sort of running, but I think it's kind of just going the right direction as far as like the confidence for the young defensive backs, like that are talented, but just haven't been in this situation before. That is a nice win for them. Even, yes, we saw like Breeze just can't really like drive it down the field anymore as far as like throwing the ball, but it doesn't matter. If you're a player in that secondary, you're just like, all right, they're trusting us to like lock someone up one-on-one, get downhill on run plays, like try to jump routes, get interceptions, whatever. So I think that's a good matchup. I still think the Packers in the next game, I would have to say, but sort of just that like getting right at the right time kind of thing. And I think the next game in the AFC, the second Saturday game, is a good example of that. I thought Baltimore as a team was also kind of getting there, but the Bills I've just felt have been coming on for like, I was telling you and Justin, like the last month and a half. Like every game was better than the last game. You have a young quarterback in Allen. The connection he has with Diggs, like that's always just a threat down the field. Yes, the running back situation is not ideal, but their defense, is going to be good. It's always been good for the last like 4 years. And now that you have a quarterback in Allen that you can trust to like think on his feet and just make a play, be a little bit more accurate than he was last year even. I just think they're just like hitting at the right time. And everyone thought going into this game that the Ravens were just going to like, all right, well, wait, what happens? They're just going to run all over this team. They're going to have like 250 yards, and they just shut that down.
Yeah.
Like, Lamar getting a concussion, all right, you can't plan for that. But still, I mean, they just took away the run. They made him throw, and you force him to throw when he's in the game. Like, he's going to hit on some, but more often than not, you just take away that running part and just see what happens after that. And the Bills, I mean, Bills Mafia, have a weekend.
Get
get in the Super Bowl. Get out the tables.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't Allen's best game, but he didn't do anything that cost him the game either. He just kind of was there. Like we've seen in the past, like Allen, he'll make big plays. This game, I feel like was kind of the outlier of the last couple months. Buffalo's defense was just awesome. Really, both defenses were. Even Baltimore's defense played really well too. Obviously, the backbreaker was that 101-yard interception touchdown, and then of course shortly after that, Lamar went out with a concussion as well. I feel for Lamar. I pull for that guy. I want him to do well. It's kind of shitty that he's 24 and everybody's already saying he can't get it done in the postseason. Like, relax. He's played 4 games. Like he's going to be around for a long time. Relax on that. But yeah, Buffalo, you got to be happy with the defensive performance. I think we'll get into the game shortly here, but I think he's got to have. He can't have the kind of week this week he had this upcoming game.
Yeah,
he's got to look more like he has for the last couple months, really slinging around. And I completely understand. Like, yes, there was crazy weather in Baltimore. Crazy wind. We saw Tucker miss 2 field goals, which that never happens ever.
But we did see the Tucker face, which
yes, we did.
Whatever he misses, it's like, wait, I didn't know we could miss these, and then that's like the slow mo, like.
what? What? Like, yeah, it's so, again, yeah, maybe it was, the wind that just kind of affected that. I don't imagine, I don't think it'll be windy in Kansas City. It'll still probably be cold, I'm sure. But, just be happy if you're, obviously, you got to imagine, but any Buffalo fan, they'll take this win every time. So,
You definitely want to see kind of I guess, like you were saying, a return to form for Allen. Especially the Chiefs' defense is gettable. I mean,
oh, yeah.
we saw the Falcons take them to the wire. Like, when it's on the line, I mean, maybe I've seen some flashes when it's like a 2-minute offense from the other team, and they just sort of like put the pressure on them. But otherwise, I mean, in open play, it's kind of like they got a couple good players, but you can score on these guys. It's just can you keep up with what their offense is going to do?
Mm-hmm.
So, honestly, Allen, yes, not a great game, but he didn't cost you the game.
No, not at all.
And from, a young, pretty much a franchise quarterback, kind of, I would take that. Like, he didn't cost us the game. He didn't look like over his head. Yes, he wasn't like hitting the 300 yards and 3 touchdowns that we've been seeing the last month or whatever, but he was just like in it. He wasn't like just totally like freaked out, like making bad decisions, So I will take that. A much tougher task going into Kansas City as well. But
And speaking of young franchise quarterbacks, Chad Henne, that's the guy right there for the Chiefs.
Chad
Just
Henne.
really build a team around that. But so this next game, Kansas City, you can see, beats Cleveland. Good teams win, great teams cover. So way to go, Cleveland. But it was obviously a game that has some controversy to it. In the second quarter, you had that play at the goal line where the ball got fumbled out the end zone, which now becomes the Chiefs, the defense's ball at the 20. Like you said, look, I don't think anybody likes that rule because it doesn't really make a ton of sense. But it is the rule. It's the correct rule.
Yeah.
Like that, if you want to complain about the helmet, them missing the helmet to helmet, I will listen to that. Like, I'll say even live, I didn't see that was helmet to helmet until it was replay. If you want to complain that they can't review that, I will listen to that argument as well. But refs miss calls all the time, and I saw people online saying like, "Oh, if they get that right, it's 24-22." That happened halfway through the second. Like, the game is not going to play out exactly as it did. Like, don't give me that argument. Like, if you want to say it was bullshit, fine, but that didn't cost them the game. You also got to play against Chad Henne for almost a full half and still lost. So, Cleveland, the play calling may have been questionable. The offense didn't quite get it rolling. Like, I didn't think Baker played bad, but just the offense just didn't quite have it rolling in the second half. So Kansas City survives. We'll see what happens with Mahomes. I'm sure I have little doubt that he will be cleared before the weekend, whether it's legit or not, who knows.
Yeah, I'm sure he will be there starting the game.
Yeah.
And as far as the injury too, I don't think it was a dirty play. It was just one of those things that happens like at high speed. I mean, it wasn't like head to head. It was like he ends up, kind of like more of a neck thing, like going into the ground and you're going that fast. It's like, it sucks. But I mean, you saw him get up off the ground and he was like not there. So definitely do not put this guy back in the game, especially for the Chiefs, who have him for like 1,000 years now with their
That's right.
$500 million contract.
He's part owner of the Chiefs now.
Essentially, yes. And you know what? Henne came up short on that long run. They still converted though, but I like the call on that because I was talking to. I went golfing today with Will and Braden, and I was like, dude, the thing I will say in defense of Andy Reid is like that's a call that they would have called with Mahomes in the game.
100%.
So he's just like, dude, we're just gonna run it. Like, this is the play that I would call right now, and I'm just gonna trust you to run that play. Like, if you come up short, and he made a great effort at it, like, just didn't get there, but that still like was a big lift to the rest of the team. Just seeing him go for it, whatever. And credit to him. I mean, he's like, yes, we have to adjust somewhat, but like, I can't just go away from like the entire playbook. Like, this is what we
Right.
do all the time on 3rd and long or 3rd and medium. Like, we let Mahomes run. So if it's there, just run. And that's what he did. Came up just short, but they converted. And then they got the, by that time, the Browns also had some clock management problems. So
Oh
they
yeah.
were kind of stuck with like one, I think, or no timeouts when when they needed it.
They had a bad timeout call early, and then they had a bad challenge play where they lost another timeout. So that was lessons learned for Stefanski. Like I'm not going to knock a guy in his first year coaching NFL football. He's been great all year. Just some growing pains that he has to learn from, that some mistakes he made in this postseason game.
But I mean, here's hoping, and you never know with the curse of the Browns. I would assume this team could get back to this point. We don't know what's going to happen to the Steelers. The Ravens, yes, are still going to be there. The Bengals are definitely rebuilding. I mean, you got Burrow at some point next season, maybe not even there to start the season. So that is a capable team, more than like the usual, just like, oh, it's the Browns kind of thing. Like, I think beating the Steelers was a big deal for them. They play them twice a year anyway. And you can't plan on that, getting up 28-0 with like 5 minutes into the game. Like, that's not going to happen again. But just getting over that hump and just like seeing it through, I think that sort of just showed like, all right, we can see what it's like to win. Like, it's not like always like, oh, but we're the Browns kind of thing. So going into Kansas City was always going to be like an uphill climb. Chiefs showed a little bit of that rust, but they just can score so easily. Like, it's maddening at times. I do want to see, though. I mean, everyone's kind of waiting to see. Like Tyler said, don't doubt that Mahomes is going to be clear to start that game. But as far as what's going on there, where they're just kind of sort of hanging on, Mahomes gets hurt. They sort of eke out the win against the Browns. And the Bills, it seems like this whole time, even with that low-scoring game against the Ravens, who were also trending up, the Bills are on that path right now. I mean, the Bills also have that curse of like, man, we had so many good teams that just couldn't do it. So there is that, but, I think that's long gone for these guys that are there playing the games now at this point. So I think that's going to be a good game. I think, honestly, just being realistic, I mean, Buffalo, Kansas City is kind of the game that would be most enticing to me. Going into the Baltimore Buffalo game last week, this weekend, you would say, all right, well, maybe either of these two teams, because they're both like kind of peaking right now, could give the Chiefs a game. But I would say it just made it a little bit more clear that yes, it's the Bills as probably the only real challenger to knock the Chiefs out in maybe the rest of the way. Like, if they win that game, I mean, maybe we see the Packers in there. Who knows? But I'm looking forward to that game. I think that's going to be the game of the weekend.
Yeah, and I saw that one opened yesterday at Chiefs -1, which that's really weird considering, as Ronnie always points out, home field gives you 3 points right away. So that's saying neutral site. Vegas likes Buffalo at 2 points, but that's also the uncertainty of Mahomes officially being able to play the game. I'm sure once he gets officially announced that
as the week goes on, yeah.
But I'm with you. Like that is definitely kind of the matchup I've been looking forward to. Kind of that I feel like particularly the second half of the year has been building towards is Buffalo, Kansas City for the AFC Championship. So early signs, I will probably take Buffalo. That might change. Again, just depending on what they say about Mahomes and kind of see what happens during the week. But that's absolutely, between the two games, that's the one that I think you can't miss.
And I think just to sort of piggyback on your point, I mean, I know like halfway through the season it was like, oh, Chiefs Steelers, like it's going to happen.
Right.
And then the Steelers just kind of like steadily declined. Like even beyond losing that, like before they lost to the Browns, And no one, like I said, saw that 28-0 5 minutes into the game happening.
Mhm.
But it just gave you the sense of like, this is a team that's kind of like spinning their wheels. Like they don't know what they're doing. Ben looks kind of really old. Like offensively, they got receivers that can't catch, but they throw 50 times a game. Like, so it was just like confusing. And then the Browns just like steamrolled them at the beginning, like jumped on them, knocked them out. But yeah, I would say after that second half started, it was probably Bills, Chiefs all the way. And I'm excited for that. Just wrapping up, I know we already talked about it, but just it always happens. I mean, like Tyler said, no man can outrun time. I mean, Breeze has been one of the all-time greats in the NFL, but you could just see that he did not have it. Like he cannot throw it. And even the first touchdown, it was like a trick. It was like a double reverse with Jameis Winston as a wide receiver. He threw to a wide open guy.
Yeah, and for some reason, the Tampa defense were the only people in America that didn't know that pass was coming.
If he's in the game, it's because we want to throw more than 30 yards. Like,
Exactly.
okay, well, what do you think is going to happen here? And, you know, Saints had a great defense all year, but, I mean, Breeze just, he can't really gun it out there anymore. So the Tampa defense just preyed on that. And they got the turnovers. There was a couple there for the Saints. They just didn't get them. And, you know, that was really the difference. I mean, take advantage of those. And if you're teeing off on a guy like Breeze, I mean, not just like sacking him or knocking him down, but just like if you know he can't really zip the ball out down the field, you have those opportunities, like jump that route, get it, take the turnover, and they did what they had to do, and they got that win. But I'm still thinking Packers in that next game.
Yep.
I honestly don't care. Tom Brady has won everything on earth, so if he wins another one, it's not going to affect me either way. I'm not a big Packer fan. Sorry, John English. But I would have to say it's a Packers game to lose.
Yeah, I'd agree. And you know, I'll just wrap this up real quick here. Kind of, you know, watching Breeze these last, especially coming back from the 11 rib injury, it's really reminded me of Peyton Manning's last year in Denver, where it's like, if this team wins a championship, it's in spite of their quarterback. You know, like Manning got that second ring, and like that was the definition. Watching him that year of like this defense carried him to a championship. It would have had to be the same
was great. And then I just remember watching that game where he had that first really good drive, and it was like, all right, Peyton just sort of like they got it scripted out. They had 2 weeks to, you know, sort of like, here's what we're going to do in this situation. They go down the field and score, and then after that, it was like, I'm just along for the ride. Like, let's just have the defense just like beat the crap out of Cam Newton and take care of business, because he was just sort of like managing the game after that point.
But I mean, like, you know, think about it. Like that year, he had it is set up actually just like how Drew Brees was, where he's got these outstanding receivers. You know, Manning had Demaryius Thomas. He had Orange Julius as his tight end. He had Manny Sanders as his other wide receiver. You know, and then look at all the weapons Brees has, and it's like, you know, at a certain point in time, like put all the weapons around a quarterback, but like when his body starts deteriorating, it's not going to happen. And again, Saints defense played great. You know, Lattimore looked awesome, made a couple of reads, but it just wasn't enough. And again, this isn't a knock on Breeze, man. It's just Father Time is undefeated.
You could just see, I mean,
everybody.
If you've been watching all the Saints games for the last, I would say, you know, since he came back, pretty much, it was just like he can't like turn on that ball. Like he can't like snap it out there.
Yeah.
And then when you get in like a super high leverage, like this is to go to the championship game of the conference, like they're teeing off on him. Like they're planning for that. Like we know he can't throw it. It's going to be to the outside. It's going to be short. And they just jumped it a bunch of times. Like they took that away. So hate to see, you know, one of the all-time great pros go out like that, but it's not a knock on the guy. Like,
no, not at all.
The career speaks for itself. It's just like you can just kind of see it, and it's unfortunate when you see it like on a big stage where he just doesn't have it anymore to like, you know.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are over time. We'll set the UFC recap till Wednesday. Go over a really good card that we had on Saturday. Ron, anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
No, thank you guys as always for joining us. Get back with us on Wednesday. A lot of NHL, UFC, as Tyler alluded to, NBA.
Actually,
We'll-
UFC has a card Wednesday night as well.
Yes. And we'll see. I've heard, murmurs that maybe Kyrie might show up by that point, and we will see the big three in effect. So we'll see what happens. But thank you guys, as always, for calling, commenting. Get back with us on Wednesday. Tyler, what you got?
Oh no, that's it. Sorry, Patrice, for running along here. I think Patrice has a show on right now. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. We love you. We'll see you on Wednesday. You know the drill. Keep the fire.
Keep the fire.